Okay, I think we can start now. I hope that all of you guys have imported the environment, so you can load the environment and I load Jupyter notebook. So activate your environment. So I will check on my environment list and activate the environment. So and go into your working directory as well. So now I will share you the file that we are going to discuss today, like Python syntax, because before we go with any libraries, we have to know about some Python programming knowledge, like how to create a variable and these kind of things. So we will use this file to discuss. So you can open this notebook. So if we talk about the Python, last time we discussed, it's a programming language. In programming language, typically what we have like some syntax. We will use some syntax, and then we have some data structures and type of data. So you need to familiar with these things, and then operators that we are going to use for different functions, and the controlling for those structures, like how to create the function and what's the meaning of the function, and these things, and then how to recycle a code in Python. So I hope you all have opened this notebook file. So we will discuss this file today. Otherwise, you can start typing the file by yourself, creating the file, because we discussed how to do the markdown and do the code blocking yesterday. Now you guys know how to manage the environment. Then you know about like Jupyter Lab. Now you need to know about Python before going with the libraries. Okay, if you all have opened this file, you can go into the top. I will use the navigator. That's why I say, like last time we discussed about markdown. See, if I need to go for a section, it's easy for me to browse through this navigation panel in here, which is like table of content. If I use here, I can like navigate easily inside my script. So that's why we discussed about like markdown cells yesterday. So in this one, the main objective is to give a simple introduction to Python and the essential syntax and the data type and structures and logical operators. You need to know about these things before going with any programming language. So we discuss about these things. It's also like Python is also similar to Ruby, Perl, PHP, and MATLAB and R. Not like C, C++, and Java or Fortran. So we use this one because of its simplicity and expressive and powerful thing, and like the all the libraries were included for this one. So to load the philosophy, like this is an inbuilt function. If you type import.this, it will give something like this. This is the philosophy of the Python. One poetry that you can load. It's just a small function. You don't need to worry about this one. And then next you need to know the suffix of Python. What is the suffix? If it is a document, Word document, what's the suffix? How we can identify? If it is a Word document, at the end we will see dot doc or docx. Then what's the suffix we are using for Python script? .py. So if you see if any file in any file at the end, if you see .py, that means it's a Python script. So this one is like how to create the environment. You don't need to worry, because if you type in the Anaconda prompt, when you type Conda env list, this is what you will see. You will see the directory. See, users Dinesh, then Conda env IMSA. So that's it. If you are using Ubuntu or Linux based environment, you will see your environment in this folder. But if you are using Anaconda, you will see your programs in this environment. So the other thing, last time we discussed, we use hash mark for the markdown cells to demarcate headings. But when it comes to a coding cell, we will use hash mark to do commenting. So you know commenting, what commenting means. When you are typing a code, if you need to give someone an idea about the code, you can like give a small comment over there. So here, what we are going to do is simply create an Python script file and save it using the code block. So if you execute this one, what will happen? The main function name is write file to print upper.py. That means we will create, if we at the end, if we execute this file, what will happen? It will create an file where you save this folder. So in here, there should be a file named print upper.py at the end. So for this one, what we are going to import, we will import the system library. So this one is an inbuilt library. If you need to work with Windows system or like any system or like operating system, you need to navigate or browse the file, you need to import sys module. This is a part of Python standard library. And then what we will use from sys.argv. What does it mean? Can you like identify? This is a function. So how we can see the like docstring of the function? Yesterday we discussed about 3 methods. So someone can try to use the docstring and say, answer me, what is the meaning of this argv? So we discussed three ways. Yesterday we discussed 3 ways on viewing a docstring file of any kind of function. So simply if we load sys dot and tab, if we say, so how we can view the docstring of this function? We discussed several methods to view the docstring. Yeah, if we put a question mark and then we can see if the docstring is there, then we can see the name. If we type like question mark and the in. So let me type this command in upper cell. So I'm not going to execute the entire command. So it will give the docstring built-in mutable sequence. If no argument is given, the constructor create a new empty list to create an argument. So what we are going to create? We are going to create an empty list. So the main part, this function we will use to create an empty list. So we discussed 3 methods on like viewing this docstring. So you need to remember this one. And then what we will do is we will join map string. So the main function that what we are going to create is what that function will do. If we call for this script, it will capitalize any letters in a string that we are going to provide. So that's the main purpose of this function. So it will join and like go with each map, like what we call the string, each element, and it will try to capitalize if it is a letter, and at the end it will print the uppercase letters. So you can execute. This is a simple Python script. This is just a simple Python script. So if you execute this cell using shift enter, you will see Python upper.py file is created in the place where you saved your notebook file. So you can open this one. Now you will see this is the typical Python script. So you see the extension .py and then the function name. So this is a typical Python script, not a notebook file, because in notebook, what's the extension of a notebook file? So if we are discussing about the extension of notebook files, you will see 2 type of files are there. So here, this one is a Jupyter notebook file and this one is a Python script file. So at the end, you will see .py in the Python script files, but if it is a Jupyter notebook, what's the extension you will see? .ipynb. So that's the difference between these 2 file types. And then you can go back into the code, and then this one is a simple command like directory. If we need to view the directory, like last time we discussed, if you need to view a directory in Windows command shell, what's the command we are using? dir. If you type dir, you can see all the files and folders in the current directory. So how we can use this same feature inside the Jupyter notebook? If you need to use the same feature in the like inside of a Jupyter notebook, you can type dir. But in here we will give a specific symbol. So if we type only this one, exclamation mark and .dir and shift enter, what will happen? It will show us all the files and folders inside the current directory. So right now my current directory is this place. So under this place we have these folders and files. So now I give a specific command in here, star dot py. So what will it do? So now I need to filter. I don't want to show all the files and folders in that directory. I only need to see whether there's a .py file in the directory or not. So star mean all .py files. In this directory, show me all .py files. So if I run this one, it will show me only the py file. So you can do a simple example. Now you can try to do a simple example. So how I can see the Jupyter notebook files in this directory? What's the command I have to use? You only need to modify in a single place. You can try to modify this one. So where should I need to modify? Where do I have to modify this one? To get the output, what should I have to modify? I only need to view the Jupyter notebook files in directory. So we need to give the extension of Jupyter notebook. So the extension is, so if you forget the extension, you can go back into the directory and see. So the extension of Jupyter notebook file is ipynb. So if I type dot I ynb and shift enter, it will show me the Jupyter notebook file inside that directory. So you can try to do the same thing in your notebook file as well, the file that I have given to you. So now we know that in that directory we have .py file. Now we will try to call for this function inside our Jupyter notebook file. So if we need to call for Python script file inside our Jupyter notebook, we can use the exclamation mark, then the Python. So the guys who are familiar with Python, they know when we need to execute something in Python, the structure is Python, then the script file name. Then if we are going to provide an input or output, we have to give them with the separation of the space. So what we are going to do here, so now we are going to call for the function which we saved earlier. So the function name is print upper.py. So we will call Python interpreter and then we will say, okay, read this script file and this is the input. Just you can type anything in here in simple or capital. So we say we created this script for what? If we feed any kind of thing into this script, what will it do? It will capitalize. Whatever the string or the word that we are going to give, it will capitalize. So now we are calling for that function, that script file, and then we are saying, okay, capitalize this word. So if you shift enter, what will happen? So let me clear the output. You can see the output from the cells. So at the end, what will happen? If I type something in here, what will happen? If I type Nanjing, what will happen? The final output, what will I get at the finally? If I execute this command, all the letters in Nanjing will be, it should be capitalized. So you can try to execute this one. See, it's capitalized. Even if I type one letter in capital form, it will capitalize the rest of the letters. So this is how we are typically using Python scripts. And then if we type something like this, even we can give multiple huge long line. If we give a long sentence like something, anything or like 1, 2, 3, it will capitalize the entire thing. It will capitalize. No matter what you are going to give, it will capitalize. So because we create this function specifically focusing to capitalize the letters. So that's how you can create functions. We will discuss about this one later. Now you need to know about variables. How we can create a variable. In previous Google Earth Engine session, we discussed how to create the variables. In the software training part 2, GIS training, we discussed how to create the variables. So in here also we have to know how to create variables in Python. So there are some restrictions. We have to give some meaningful names when we are declaring the variables, because you are the one who are going to use your script. you should be know about your variables, what you are going to give, and that you are going to give. When you are giving the variable names, it can contain only letters and numbers, and if there is a separation, there should be the underscore mark, and must not given by any number, and also avoid Python reserved names. So that means if we say something, if we say, okay, I need to create a variable 4 equals 3, will it happen? Because in Python we have 4 is a reserved word for the looping. So if we type 4 equals 3, it will not execute because it's saying like invalid syntax, because we have the for loop inbuilt into the Python. Even we cannot use while equals 6 or something, because while is also a looping function. So we cannot use. So you can execute these commands. Then you will see that you cannot execute, actually is giving errors. And then the operators. So now what we are going to do, we can create something like a variable a equal 5. So then if we call for a, yesterday I discussed, before I print, I can see these variables, where I can see these variables which I have loaded inside the script. Yesterday I discussed, when I am discussing about the Jupyter Lab, these two bug icons. If you remember, if you enable this bug icon and click on here, in this side you will see function variable, all the function variable. Till now we only loaded one variable. You can see a equal 5 is over there. So now if we need to view it in our notebook file, we can simply call for our variable name. If I type a, it should give me 5. So the next thing, if I type something like this, now I type a equal a star 2, what will happen? What will happen? So now you know the value of a. A is 5, and then it should be multiplied by 2. So how it's going is like it's going from left to right, right to left. So it will do this calculation first and then reassign the value to a. Now what will be the new value of a? So it will be 10. And now if I execute something like this, what will happen? A equal a plus 2. So these are very basics in Python. And then b equal 8. So if I type something like this, what will happen? B plus equal. If I type b plus equal to, what will happen? Is like the simplest form of this one. Just plus is like the, if you expand this one, it means a equal a plus 2. So what should be the output now? Right now that the in we have 12. So 12 plus 2 is 14. So we should get 14. And then now a star equal 2. So now what will happen? A equal a multiplied by 2. It should be what's the value? 28. Now a equal a star 2. Again, this is the extension form of this equation. So I am not going to execute this one. So what will be the value of a? 28. So now 2 stars. We discuss about this one. For star mark, what we are using the star mark for? If it is a markdown cell, star mark is for what? Only star mark without 2 stars. If you use one single mark, star mark and type something, what will happen? No, one single star. To italic, it should be like 2 stars. If you only type one star mark and like type something, what will happen? You can try to do the same thing in the code. Try to create a code cell in here underneath using this one, and you can type and change this one into markdown cell and see. If I type star, then type something, what will happen? It's going to create a list. If you use this one in markdown, it will be a list. But in Python scripting, star is multiplication. So if we use double stars, what will happen in Python scripting? If you use double stars, what will happen? If you know, if you are familiar with what we call you all did the maths, no? If you need something like this, we need 2 stars. If you need to get a power or something, exponential value, we will use 2 star marks. So now I'm going to create a new variable, x equal 2. So now the value of x will be 2. Now how many variables I created? So how I can see all the variables I created? Simply I need to view in here. So how many variables I have? I have a, b, and even x. So now I will see the value of x. Now if I type x 2 star marks 3, what will happen? 2 to the power 3. So it should be 8. And then if I type it again, x equal x to the power 2. So that means 8 to the power of 2 should be new x. If I see, it should be is coming as 2. Yeah. So now instead of getting the power like this, we have a inbuilt command. Now this is an inbuilt command. So what's the docstring of this one? That's why I say if you need to know a function docstring, if the docstring is there, you can simply click the cursor at the end of the function and hit shift tab. Then it will give the docstring file. So what's the signature? So the signature you can see it should be like power POW. Then within bracket you have to give the base and the exponential value and the mode. If it is none, it's okay. It's equivalent to base 2 star exponential with 2 argument. So you can type something like this. So if I execute this one, what will happen? So base is 2 and power is exponential power is 4. So at the end, what should be the output? 2 to the power 4, 60. So these are like inbuilt commands that and like syntax we will use for different kind of operators. And then we have the division. We discuss about addition, subtraction, multiplication, and now we need to discuss about division. So how to get the division? If we type something like this, what will happen? 9 divided by 5, it will give us 1.8. But if we type something like this, what will happen? 1 double backslashes, then divide by 5. What will happen? It will give us only the integer value. So it's not going to round up. If we round up this one, it should be 2. But it's showing us 1. It's not rounding up. It's just omitting the second value and only giving the integer part of that number. And then the data types. You need to know about the data types that we are going to use inside the Python. So we have different type of data. If we go into the notebook file, if I discuss how many data types are there, float, integers, then complex numbers and booleans, and then strings, list, tuples, then list compression, and the most important thing, dictionaries. This is the most important thing. We will use like dictionaries when it comes to Panda and we are playing with the data. We need to know about the dictionaries. So now we will discuss about the type of data and the data structures in Python. Now previously we say like okay, x equal 2. Now if we type x equal 2.0, what will happen? So type function, we can use the type function. Before I execute this cell, you can see the type function. What is the purpose of type function? It will show us the type of the data of that the variable that we are going to pass. If I execute this one, what's the you can anyone guess if you know about if you are familiar with this Python scripting or anything, you should be know. Now I didn't execute this x, but previously I assigned a value for x. So if you go in here and see the value, it's like 4. So if I execute this one now, what should I get? It should be integer because If I execute, it's giving me as int. That means it's an integer. But right now I am going to change this one. Reassign the value using x equal 2.0. If I do this one, now what's the value of x? Is 2.0. It should be float. So if we type instead of if we type like 2.0, we can type like x equal 2 point. If we type x equal 2 point, what will be the type? Float. So now you know if we need to assign a floating value for any function. For the division also, divisions, multiplication, if we need to go with floating numbers, we need to assign the variable for the floating point. So there are two methods of assigning variables like the float values. 2.0, like we can give the number that you need, then the point, and then the decimal places. And the other way is you can simply say x equal the number, then give the point. It will automatically convert into a floating data type. So if you type x equal 2 to the power, that means this is the short format. You know, if you are calculating any function, you know 2e5 mean what? What's the meaning of 2e5? This is like 2, then the decimal places should be 5. E is like showing the number of decimal places. If you calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's like 2000. The simplest form of 2000, if you go with the numbering, it will be 2000. If I type this one like 2 e to the power 10, that means it should give me 10 decimal places in the number. If I execute, you will see the large number. So that means you don't need to type the entire thing. If you need to type like 10,000 or something, you don't need to type 10,000. You can simply type 1e4. Then it will automatically type it as that value, and it will be also floating. This one, if you need minus 10, for the minus values, you have to multiply this one. You can go with the division if you need minus values. Then we have to discuss about integer numbers. If we say like x equal to x, this one is integer. Last time we discussed. Then type x, it should be integer. Now we are reassigning the value 2.7. It should be 2.7. Now the type should be float. So the simple meaning of this one is we can reassign different type of data into a variable, simple variable. But what will happen? It will replace the value and as well as the date type. If we perform a equation like this, at the first step we assign x equal to, so now value of it is like 2. If I open this one again and see, if let me run this one, and then now if I go here, I cannot see the variable type or anything, but the value of x is 2 and the type of data is integer. Now if I type x equal 2.7, that means it's replacing. Right now we have a value for x, but if we execute this one, it will replace both value and the data type. That's the main point that you need to remember. Now it have been changed. The value will be like 2.7 and the data type will be float. And then if I call int x, what will happen? Int x. So you can view the docstring. I don't need to show this one. If you see the docstring of int x, it will show. Convert a string number into a floating point number if possible. So now we should be give the integer part of the value. That means the actual value of x is 2.7. But if we type something like int x, it will give the integer part of that number. So for more information, you can see. You can click on this link and you can see more information regarding these things. So if we type 2 stars into 64, what will happen? 2 to the power 64. So then if we type something like this, print e dot format x, what will happen? scientific number of that exact value is giving us with the scientific format. So next one is complex numbers. Now what if we need something like for the equations, we will use something like this, no? 2 equal x equal 2 plus 3j or something we need to type. So if we type something like this, we need to assign the complex numbers in between two double quotation marks. What? Yeah. Two double star and two E5. So 2E5 mean if you type something like 2E5, this one mean what? The number of decimal places that you need. So not the power. This is not the power. This is just the number of decimal places. So the first number will be if like 2 to the power E, 1 mean what? 2 to the power E, 0 mean what? You can try to execute this command and see. Just type this one and like see in your terminal. It will be like 2. Then if we type 5, that means we need to add 5 decimal places and at the end we will put the dot. But if we type 2, then double star 5, this means 2 to the power 5. So that's the difference between these two. And then for the complex numbers, if we need to assign a complex number, then we need to type the complex number in between two double quotation marks. This is just the demarcation. When you need to demarcate any complex number, you have to demarcate it between like variable name, then equal complex number in between two double quotation marks. So if you see the number, it will give you the data type, it will give you as a string. So now if you need to type a complex number, you can type this command as well. What will happen? You can use the docstring. That's why I'm saying like every time this is like much more useful. Within this docstring is the useful of this Jupyter Lab environment. So if you see, it will give a number, string or numbers. So if I execute this one and see, now it's converted into a complex number. So even in this this side, it is showing me as x. Now it's a complex. X equal complex. If the data type of the x is complex. Now next one is booleans. Whether it's like on or off. This means true or false. So if we type x equal true, it will automatically convert it into boolean type. So in boolean we only have two types, true and false. Nothing else, only true or false. If we type this one, type x, now it will give us bool. So that means it's boolean data type. So now if we reassign x equal 1, what will be the type? Now the data and everything will be replaced, it will be int. If it is boolean, it should be like true, not like x equal 1. In like demarcation, we will say true should be 1 and false should be 0. But when you are assigning, you cannot type x equal 1. If you type x equal 1, it will be an integer. So x equal 2 mean false. Why we are using equal sign? If we type something, x equal 2. What's the purpose of this one? Is asking whether the value of x is equals to 2. So we get the output as false. So it check. Actually, what's the value of x right now? 1. So now it's checking whether 1 equals 2. It's not. So it's giving output as false. But if we reassign this one to 2 and execute this one, what will be the output? It should be true. And then y equal. Then now what we are asking? Now we are saying create a variable y equal. In this part, what we are doing? We are creating the variable y and now assigning the value of this function. What's the value of the final output of this function? Y. We are assigning x equal 1. What's the output of x equal 1 right now? It false because right now the value of x is 2. It should be false. Then the value of y should be boolean false. So Next one, if we type something like this, what will happen? Within like box brackets, we assign like true, true, false, false, true, true. Now it's converted into a list. So what's the main thing that you need to understand? If you need to create a list, you need to use this box bracket. We will use box bracket when we creating lists. In between this one, we need to separate list items using commas. So now if we say like, okay, sum of x, what will happen? It's giving us 3. Why? Sum mean, what's the purpose of this function? Return the sum of start to in value and interval to between like the entire list. It's going through the entire list and like getting the summation. So first value is true, second value is true, that means 1, third value is false, 0, and last value is true, that means 1. So 3 ones are there, the addition of these 3 values should be 3. So if we type false in here, what will happen? You need to type this one. Otherwise, next time I will not give you the notebook file. You will have to type it by yourself. So if I execute this one, what should be the value? It should be 2. Then we have strings. So string is when we need to demarcate a string, we need to use either single quotation mark or double quotation mark. If we execute this one, what's the purpose of this one? We use print. First we assign sentence equal this. Now if you go into this one, you will see there should be a value named sentence. So it's showing us the value of sentence variable. It should be this entire string. So now if we need to print this one, we can print, you like within bracket we can say print sentence. So it will show us the value of that variable. Next one also we can type double quotation mark. If you type in between double quotation mark, it will also be a string. Last time we discussed, when you need to type a complex number also, you need to use double quotation mark. But the thing is, you have to type numbers in there. So next one is like sentence, the same thing, triple quotation mark. You can use either triple quotation marks as well. So why we are using triple quotation mark? If we have some additional quotation marks inside the string that we are going to pass, we need to put triple quotation marks. Then it will understand no matter what, because in here we have one quotation mark inside. I would like to, short form is I. So in here we have one string file, so we need to get the value of that thing as well. So that's why we using triple quotation marks. Then there's one additional function, len. So why we are using len? So you can view the docstring. Someone can see the docstring file and see the main function. Return the number of items in a container or list. So it should give us the length or the number of values in this string that we pass. So you can calculate how many items are there. It should be 42. If you calculate one by one, you will get the output as 42. So the length of our sentence variable is 42. Now this one, and you can convert this type of above float complex ints to a string using the str function. So it's like when you need to convert something into a string, you can do it instead of typing it by manually. So now what's the purpose of this one? X equals 3.3 and multiplied by 2, 6.6. And if we type, so this is the comment. So now I commented this type X. So if I need to uncomment, what should I do? Either I can use control hash. If you type control hash, it will automatically comment. Even to uncomment, you have to type the same thing. Otherwise, manually you can delete this hash mark. But the way that I recommend is, if I need to comment one place, I need to move my cursor into the line where I'm going to add the comment and hit Control \. You can press like CTRL plus this mark in the keyboard. It will automatically put a hash mark in that specific part. If I uncommented this one, what will be the output? Float, because I am at the end, I am asking about type, not the value. If I comment this one, it will show me the value of x. So now let me uncomment this one and print the value. So now I am saying int x. So what will happen? Now it's assign the value, the integer part of the number. That means it's omitting 0.6 and assigning value 6 to the number, the variable x. So the type of this x should be now integer. Now after that I am saying, okay, multiply that number by 2. So when it multiplied, it should be 6 to the power 6 multiplied by 2, it should be 12. And if I print, the value should be, let me see. Oh no, what's the problem? In here I say like it's 6, it's not 6. 6 is the output. I am not assigning this one. If I assign, it will be 6. Now it should be like 3. 3, then 3 to the power 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. So that's why I say this number, because in here I didn't say, if I type this one, x equal x to the power 6, then the output will be 12. But if I didn't type that one, the output should be 3. And then I am saying, okay, now x equal 2.0. What will happen? Now what should be the output? The value of x should be like 2.0 and the type of data should be float. So if I print x, it should be 2.0. Now if I type x equal strx, what will happen? Now is converting this double type data, that means 2.0 into the string. So if I see, now you can see 2.0 inside this quotation mark. That means this is not a value. You cannot do any calculation. This is a string. So this is just a simple thing, like if you need to multiply strings. So what's the purpose of this one? I am saying like, okay, hash, within bracket I am saying hash, then I am giving single quotation. That means this is a string value. And then I put multiplication mark and then say 200. What will happen? It should give me like 200 hashes. It will like iterate through the 200 hashes and show me this one. So if you calculate, this should be like 200 hashes. And then string in Python also like iterable. What does that mean? If I print sentence, last time I created the variable sentence. This is an illusion. If I print this one, it should show me this is an illusion launched by WSO. So what's the purpose of this? We use 3 quotation marks. If you type something in this 3 quotation mark, let me delete this one, these 2 quotation mark, and only put 1 quotation mark. So what will happen if I put 1 quotation mark and put this text inside over there? What will happen? You can try to do. Just try to do this one. You can delete all the other quotation and put this one in a single quotation mark. Now it's not executing, because why? I break this line. If I am going to put any line breaks or anything in between a sentence, then I have to use 3 quotation marks. I cannot go with only one single quotation. I need to put 3 quotation. That's why we put 3 quotation marks. So when assigning the string variables, we have 3 options. We discussed this one previously. When we are creating string variables, we have 3 options. If we type x equal within single commas, we can use single commas. This is only effective if we are using a single line, not multiple lines. This one, x equal double quotation, and then we type this string. This one will also be in the string format. And if you use x equal 3 double quotations, what will happen? For this one, we can use a paragraph. If we need to type a paragraph with multiple lines, we just need to put 1, 2, 3. Here also we need to put 1, 2, 3. If we put like something in between 3 double quotation marks, we can go with multiple lines. For these things, we can only go with single line. So now if I go into the section where I say the strings, the iterability of the strings. So if we print the strings, the sentence, it will show us this is an illusion, launch or something. And then if we type sentence also, it will show us in this way. If we print the sentence, it will show us the exact way that we type the sentence. But if we type only the sentence, it will show us /n. So the guys who know programming, they know what we are using /n to break the lines. If we need to break a line, we will put /n. So we should have like 2 line breaks. Here we are breaking the 1 line, and then here also we are breaking 1 line. So that's why when we are, except we have like if you use print, it will read these things. But if we directly type this one, it will not read and it will show the entire thing. That's why we are seeing 2 /n's. So if I type sentence, then within box brackets, sentence is a variable. Now I am using box bracket and giving an index in here. So if I type sentence 5, what should be the output? Now sentence is a variable. It's not any other thing. So sentence is this variable. Now I am saying sentence number for index is 5. In like 5th index of 5, what should be the value? Is giving me I. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 5th index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because in Python we know Python we will use 0 as the first index. So if we type 0, what will be happen in here? You can type this one. You can modify the code. It's showing me T. If I type 1, it should be giving me the second value of that sentence. So this is how we can do the indexing. Now if I type sentence 0, then put 2 the what we call this one 2 dots, and then if we assign 0 and 5, what will happen? Now it should give us 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 till 5. So if we execute this one, it's giving 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are not getting 5. That means you need to remember, if we type 5, we will not, in here, we will not get the variant number. That means it's going for 4. If we type 6, then it will go till from 0 to 5. So if we type this one, what will happen? Sentence, 2 double quotation mark, then minus. Sentence, then box bracket, 2 dots, and then type -1. What will happen? It's reversing the entire thing. If we need to reverse something, we need to say, okay, read all the values from -1. So index will be going from minus side. So it should be reverse the entire sentence. So if you reverse this one, what will be happen? Then first one should be dot, then O dot S, then space, then Y, then L, then V. So this is the way you can reverse something. Yeah. Then now if we type sentence, it should be still the same because we didn't reassign the value and the type till now. Now if we say like, okay, split sentence dot split, what will happen? This is also inbuilt function. So what's the purpose of this function? Split. So that's why I say whenever you go through a code, you can like hit shift tab and view the docstring. So then you will understand, okay, this is the main purpose of this function and these are the variables that it is accepting. So these are the variables that it is accepting and this is the function name. So what's the purpose? Return a list of substrings in the string format using step as the separator. So if we type this one, what we should we get is saying will not split any white spaces. It will only split the places we have /n and discard as empty strings. So if we execute this one, what should we get for the split sentence? So it's splitting all the spaces. It's like splitting the sentence into words with by omitting spaces and /n's. Because when we print, we have this here we have a space, here we have a space, here we have a space, and then we have /n because it's not omitted the point value, but it's omitted /n because in docstring they mention. That's why I'm saying you need to read docstring all the time. If you see like encountered any function that you didn't even know previously, you should read the docstring function, like the docstring of that function, then you will understand. Here in here they mention that they will skip the characters including /n, /r, /t, /s and spaces. So they will separate whatever the sentence that you are going to pass into the words, and then it will give you the data type. What will be the data type of this split sentence? If I need to view the type of this one, what will be the type? So how I can view the type of this split sentence? So I can simply type within bracket, I can say the split sentence. So do I need to type the entire name? No, if I hit tab, it should comes. Then if I hit execute, it's giving me as a list. Because here I mentioned if we need to assign a list, we should be start from the box bracket and separate everything using commas. So this is in that exact format. So it should be a list. Then if I type split sentence 2 equals x, what will happen? Now what it is doing? Split sentence 2. I say if I need to do the indexing equal to, because this is the now we are coming for the thing we call dictionaries. So to understand dictionaries, you should be able to get this concept. So in the split sentence, we have the entire list separated by these number of values. Between like commas, we have number of values. Now we are saying split sentence 2. The split sentence 2 mean what should be the value? 0, 1, 2, 3. This one is 0, this one is 1, this one is 2. So get the third value of that list and replace with x. So what will happen? 1, 2, 3. If let me execute, what will happen? See, time is, so the third value I am saying the split sentence, get the second value, that means n, and replace this one with x. So if I need to replace lunchtime in here, what should be the command? If I need to replace lunchtime with x, what should be the like y, what should be the command? Then what's the number? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it should be within bracket, it should be y. So these are the very basics. So if you get these basics, it's easy for coding. Because main thing you need to know about the basics. Sometimes you will think like, okay, I need to learn the programming language, but you didn't focus on the basics. You just directly go for the coding. Then you will say like, okay, this is too hard for me. So now if I print this sentence, it's showing me y in here. So if I say, okay, split sentence, now I am using count. Count is also in-bit function. What will happen? Just see the docstring. If you type shift tab, you will see the docstring. then in there is mentioned, in the doc string is mentioned, return the number of occurrences of a value. So now what we are asking? We are asking the split sentence count type. So what will it do? It will count the number of like word time reoccurred in that split sentence list. So now we only have